let me start. Yeah. So, welcome to Medley Toastmasters Club, a member of the great 90 plus years, nearing a century fraternity called Toastmasters International, where we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. To make your meeting more interesting and experiential, particularly considering this is a remote meeting, we request you to follow some ground rules so that the meeting is executed effectively and more useful to you. First of all, we request you to keep your mics on mute unless you are called upon to deliver a session or ask a question. Kindly keep your mobile phones in silent mode during the meeting when you speak, when you unmute your mic and speak, so that it does not create any distraction. I give you some 15 seconds for you to do in your mobile phones. I've just done. Thank you. Also, please, in your name in Zoom, prefix your name with TM underscore or guest underscore according to your role in today's meeting. I'll give you some 15 seconds to do so when I need to do it. Kindly prefix or suffix your role names before your name in the Zoom meeting. I still see a couple of our members not having done it completely. Could you please go ahead, check your names and change them with the prefix roles. This will help us in understanding who you are and following up with you during the meeting. I still have 3 or 4 members who have not done. However, I'll remind them in the chat box. That reminds me, please keep the chat window open on one of your sites and keep watching any messages that pops up during the meeting. Team has taken enormous effort in organizing, planning, and executing this meeting. So kindly stay on throughout the meeting. Don't quit the meeting unannounced in between. It will be considered as insulting the people who organize the meeting. Please stay online and get the extreme benefits of attending a Toastmasters meeting. With these kind words, with these nice words, I would like to invite and introduce the presiding officer of today, a content professional, a man who is really international, traveled abroad, and very much interested in taking roles in Toastmasters, meeting people, grooming them, and motivating them. Here is our president, Toastmaster Rangarajan, fondly called as Ranga. Over to you, President Ranga.
Thank you so much for the warm introduction, Dtm Guru Prasad. With the sound of this gavel, I declare meeting number 646 open. Welcome, Dtm Guru Prasad, Dtm Sampath Saurirajan, and other senior members. And I don't see any guests for today. So that is probably because we will be having a business session immediately after the prepared speeches. I just got a call from PM Raghu saying that he'll be joining us in a few minutes. Just wanted to give an additional information about that. And going ahead, I would like to introduce our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Saravanan. Toastmaster Saravanan has been employed with a multinational for a few years. He's been a resident of, he's native of Coimbatore, but a current resident of Gandhinagar, Adiyar. And he's been a thorough professional when it comes to Toastmastering. He has taken up roles and has excelled in them. So with these words, I hand over the baton to Toastmaster Saravanan.
Thank you, President Toastmaster Ranga. Good afternoon, Medleyans. How are you all doing?
Good. Very well.
I'm very good, very good. I am also doing great. And how many of you have seen the agenda today thoroughly? What is so unique about today's agenda?
we also have our AGM.
The guests will be sent out in between.
Good, but not related to what I'm thinking of. What I observed was the theme of today's meeting, as well as the projects, are all related to dealership. Sorry, all related to leadership. Okay. So I am from automobile, so it is more like dealership, leadership, and all. It's coinciding. Okay. But if you see that, the theme for today is leadership framework. And all the three projects which we have are all related to dynamic leadership. Do you think this is all because of any coincidence?
Butterfly effect. Butterfly.
Good, butterfly effect. It is not chaos theory, okay, but it's all related, okay, but it's purely coincidence. And let us see about this. During Sergeant at Arms discussion also, Dtm Guru Prasad mentioned about these things in the mission statement. He talked about Toastmasters empowers communication as well as leadership skills, right? So this communication as well as leadership skills plays a very important role in all of us, whether it is in our professional life or in personal life. Everywhere this plays a key role. Now, a basic question, what is leadership? Can somebody please tell about what is leadership according to you? Yes, please.
I cannot because that's my team today.
No, the person who finds the talent from others.
Very good, very good. Leadership is all about developing people and helping others reaching their fullest potential. That is leadership. Dtm Guru Prasad, you are saying something.
No, I said I cannot comment because that is my project speech today.
Very good, very good, very good. We don't want to get any precursor now because we wanted to listen to that very thoroughly during those 7-minute speeches. Thank you. And leadership is all about equipping people with the right tools and strategies. Well, what is the tool and strategy? Do we have any leadership tool and strategy? Any of you can chime on that? Do we have leadership tools and strategies? We don't have. Yeah, we have. It's like this or this. Okay, fine. So there are leadership tools and strategies that is called as leadership framework. That is what is all about for today's theme. Okay, so let us see about what are the tools and strategies which we have. See, for example, in Toastmasters also, we have leadership styles. That is more predominantly what we are going to talk about in today's project sessions. But we also know that there are pathways which are speaking about communication styles. Do any of you remember those communication styles? Okay, so direct communication, initiating, supportive, as well as analytical. These are various types of communication styles which are being advocated. Right? And then from a leadership style also, can somebody tell what are the leadership styles we have gone through or like we are going through as part of pathways?
Servant leadership, authoritative, collective.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. So pace setter leadership, authoritative leadership, autocratic leadership, servant leadership. These are all various leadership styles which you are going through. Right. So here also we can see some of the tools and strategies which we can use. So let us see, what is one of the critical qualities according to you from a leadership perspective? Can any of you tell about that?
Empathy, active
Very good.
listening.
Very good, very good, very good. Empathy and active listening. Is there any tool and strategy for these two, empathy and active listening?
Communication.
Communication, yes. Active listening, I heard some time back that how do you do that active listening? Any of you know about that? What is the technique behind active listening?
It is said you have to listen not to reply, but to understand what he's trying to say.
Exactly. Correct. But if it is happening sometime around 2:55, 3 o'clock after having the lunch, will it be possible to actively listen?
If the topic is interesting, yes.
Nice. Very good. But how do we make that interesting? That is one of the critical things to know about that as well. See, for example, if you are in a lecture and if you see like, it is really boring or something, okay, in that sense, what do you normally do? I tell you a simple technique for active listening. What you have to do here is you just try to repeat what the person is saying. For example, if I'm saying something, just try to repeat that slowly in your mind. That will enhance the listening part so that you will be having the same frequency as per the person who is talking about that. Slowly, you will not get bored, but you will try to understand that and you will try to visualize that and then you will try to remember that. So this is one of the techniques I normally use. But like this, I will provide some tutor techniques which I am currently using. And then I will share this as part of my leadership framework in tips and bits manner. Okay, so that you will not get bored, but you can repeat mentally on what I'm trying to say. Okay, so this is pretty much about leadership framework. And Toastmasters meeting, if you see normally, the sessions will be always having 3 different parts. Well, first part is more about prepared speeches. So today we have 3 prepared speeches, all from the same pathways, that is dynamic leadership pathways. This is where the members have spent adequate time in going through their objectives and sculpting their speech as well as rehearsing their speech. And we'll have set of evaluators to evaluate that as well. And the second part is more about table topics. This is where you get a chance to deliver 1 or 2 minutes impromptu speech based on the topic and questions. The final segment is on the evaluations. This is where we can find out what we have done overall from a session perspective. And we have evaluators as well as general evaluators to provide this feedback to us, because as you all know, feedback is the breakfast of champions. So that will help us to understand what we have done, how we have done at all. Now I would like to call upon the general evaluator for today's session to take through the general evaluation portion. This is a person who is grounded, but also has the ability to fly. And I believe he is now sitting in his office. I can see beautiful background behind his office. And one of the toughest club officer role in Medley or anywhere else. What is that? That is VPE, right? And this person has done continuously 2 times VPE and 2 times continuously. That is very difficult, but I would like to appreciate him for that. Please put your hands to welcome Toastmasters Surya for taking us through the evaluation session, gentle evaluation.
Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction, Toastmasters Saravanan, though I failed to send you the theme-related information. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters, and there are no guests, so good afternoon. Welcome, Toastmasters, for this meeting. So I am playing the general evaluator role for today's meeting. So my bit of responsibility in this meeting is to lead 2 teams, a team called Timer, Counter, and Grammarian, the other team of evaluators. So I'll be closely watching the meeting right from the beginning till the end and observing the meeting proceedings. And I'll be also providing the suggestions, recommendations at the end of the meeting. And I would also, it's also my responsibility to introduce the tag role players for today's meeting. Today's meeting, we have Timer, who's Toastmaster Siva. Toastmaster Siva is a Toastmaster for, I've seen him a year back in our club and had a break and joined here. Toastmaster Siva is basically a system engineer who has a work experience of 10 years, a decade nearly, and he also aspires to become a life coach. And his hobbies are like listening to audiobooks, traveling to new places. And his views about today's theme was leader is someone who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Over to you, Toastmaster Siva. Please introduce your roles and responsibilities for today's meeting.
Thank you, General Evaluator, for the warm introduction. So, good evening, fellow Toastmaster and guests. As timer, I will time the table topic speakers, formal speeches, and the evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left with using the green, yellow, and red cards, which denote the specific timings remaining. Prepared speeches should be 5 to 7 minutes in length. At the 5th minute, I will change my background to green. So let me show you a demonstration of that. So you'll see a green color background, and at the 6th minute, I will change it to yellow. And at the 7th minute, I will change it to red. And it remains until you complete the speech. So you will give a grace time of 30 minutes. Whereas table topic speaker should limit their speeches to no more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will raise the green card, and at the 1 minute 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card, and at the 2nd minute, I will raise the red card. The individual evaluation should be between 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 2 minutes 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. At 3 minutes, I will raise the red card. Speakers should limit their speeches to the specific timing so that you can get qualified. I request all the speakers to pin me in the Zoom so that I'm visible to you and you can see me the time cards I showed. And I will also share the timers report when called upon by the General Evaluator. Thank you, General Evaluator. Over to you.
Next person is called Accounter, holding a responsibility called Accounter. Today, Accounter role is played by Mr. Senthil Murugan. So Senthil Murugan is an employee of Cognizant, working in Cognizant, and his views about leadership is that a leader should be a role model for his followers, and he should know well about positives and negatives of his followers, and to be a good influencing person. Over to you, Toastmaster Senthil Murugan. Please share your roles and responsibilities.
Thank you, G. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. The purpose of the R counter is to note words and sounds that are used as a crutch or pause filter by anyone who speaks. During this meeting, I will listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, and you know. I will also listen for filler words, including and I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase such as I or this means. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker uses expressions. Thank you, G.
Next, it's grammarian. Today's grammarian is an all-time leader, as far as I know. So everywhere, whatever the positions that he's holding is, connects with leadership, be it the position that he is holding in Medley right now, the past president of Medley, a leadership role, and his profession as well. He's working working at a leadership level in Renault Nissan, and yeah, he's working as a leadership position in Renault Nissan, and he has been into Toastmasters fraternity, especially into Medley for the past 2+ years. And you could easily identify when I say this. He's famous for his voice. A DTS bass effect comes when he starts speaking. Let us welcome Toastmaster Raghunath Nair. Toastmaster Raghunath?
He logged in. I don't see him now. Could I, is Priya playing a role today? Could I request you to become the grammarian, please?
Yes, I can take you. Did you say Priya? I'm
Yes.
the TT master today.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Let's just introduce the word of the day and then we'll start. VP, do we have the word of the day?
No, I don't have.
I'm just making call.
And VPA come up with a word?
He's just joining. He got disconnected.
I just submitted him in. He should be in by now.
Yeah.
Grammarian Toastmaster Raghunath, you could introduce your roles and responsibilities.
No, I think he is getting dropped off.
Raghunath, Toastmaster Raghunath, you may now explain your roles and responsibilities.
Yeah, sorry for that. I just got disconnected. My apologies for the technical fault. So let me share the screen. Please let me know once you're able to see. So as a grammarian, just for the for all new members, guests, and also the old Toastmasters, the key responsibility will be to pay close attention to all speakers, listen carefully to their language usage, and I'll be taking note of the improper language, the outstanding words, codes, etc. And I'm going to introduce you the word of the day. The word of the day is gaiety. It's the state or quality of being light-hearted or cheerful or lively celebrations or festivities. The key use is that it is like the sudden gaiety of children's laughter. He seemed to be a part of the gaiety, having a good time. So these are the key things. I would request everyone to use the word gaiety throughout the thing. Is it clear? I mean, am I audible? Thank you so much, and over to you, G. Thank you.
Thank you for explaining your roles and responsibilities as a grammarian, Toastmaster Raghunath. Now, next, I would be coming up in introducing the evaluators. It's the time for me to leave, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Surya. Now we are getting into a very, very interesting session. That is the prepared speech session. And that is the first session for this entire Toastmasters journey. The speakers, what they do normally is they take a central theme, which is more of informing or inspiring or persuading. And based on their project objectives, they sculpt their speech and come and provide their speech and enthrall us with their speeches. The first project speaker is Toastmaster Dinagara, and he is giving his speech on Dynamic Leadership Level 3 Project to Connect with Storytelling. He is working as a delivery partner in TCS. Before calling Toastmaster Dinakaran for his speech, I would like to call his evaluator, Toastmaster Dinesh, to read out his project objectives.
The purpose of Toastmaster Dinakaran project is to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. Timer, please note the time is 5 to 7 minutes.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dinesh. Toastmaster Dinagaran, the project is Mr. B. I have seen some Not 7 movies earlier. It was called as Dr. No, like this. It's very similar to that, Mr. D. Mr. D, Toastmaster Dinagaran, Mr. D.
Thank you, Dtm Modi. Good afternoon, Toastmasters. Are we ready for the visual treat? Yes, visual treat. For that, I have a request. Can all of us close our eyes for next 5 minutes for the better effects? Okay, so now we are all of us at our home, sitting on the chair or sofa comfortably and glued to the screen. We are seeing a black screen on the TV, which reads that all the characters are fictional. Any coincidences to the names or characters is merely coincidental. Yeah, please ignore. Toastmaster Ganesh has some Wi-Fi issues. He is going to the network settings and resetting the Wi-Fi. Yeah, he has now fixed the problem. He's able to see the screen. Catch. The previous day, Dtm Prasad is calling Dtm Rajan. Sir, are you ready for the once in a lifetime opportunity? Sir, enna sir solreenga? Sir, tomorrow morning, Netflix, 7 o'clock, FDFS. நம்ம தலைவரோட படம் sir. Miss பண்ணக்கூடாது sir. I'm ready with the coat and shirt, the costume and the French beard. நீங்கள் ரெடியா சார்? சார், எனக்கு ஏற்கனவே ஏரியா கான்டெஸ்ட், கிளப் கான்டெஸ்ட் பல பிரச்சனைகள். இது வேறையா சார்? சார், please sir, take a break and enjoy the time. Okay. Cut. The movie starts with a BGM. Tan ta ta tan ta ta tan ta ta tan. Tan ta 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 tan ta ta. Under the sounding in the background, Mr. D, Mr. D, Mr. D. First scene. In the meantime, our Dtm Prasad is shouting, "Vataleva, Vataleva, Vataleva." People at the home is getting furious. Now the phone is ringing. Our hero, Mr. D, is taking the call. It's already 10 a.m. He sees there are 10 missed calls from the boss. Yo, enna pandra? It's already 10 o'clock. There was a meeting at 9 o'clock. We are all expecting you. There were 3 people, 3 customers on the call. We're expecting you, but you are absconding. Where did you go, man? Sorry, sir, I missed it. I was actually overslept. What happened, man? Like, so we are not already making the delivery. They're missing the timelines. They're asking for $500,000 penalty. How much you have in your account? Sir, it's already 10th in the month. After all the EMI and all the tuition fees, I have only 500 rupees in the account, sir. Yo, போய்த்தல எனக்கு ஒரு நல்ல அட்வைஸ் சொல்றேன். தயவு செஞ்சு இனிமேல் என் மூஞ்சில முடிக்காத. Best advice is that you go and find a better job. தயவு செஞ்சு போன வை. The other side, your son is waiting there in the basement in the parking lot for the last 10 minutes. He has to go to the tuition center. He's sitting there and shouting, "What are you doing? Wait, where are you going? Please wear your mask and go." After a few minutes, we are reaching the tuition center. Mr. D is asking his son, "Okay, get down. The tuition center has come. Like, what time your class ends? I don't know. Whatever the time it ends, it ends. இருக்கிற பிரச்சனைல இது வேறையாடா? ஓகே, போ, நான் உங்க அம்மாட்ட கேட்டுக்கிறேன். ஓகே, நான் தான் பேசுறேன். What time like his class ends? I have continuous calls. I don't know. You ask him. I think whatever the time it ends, it ends. இதுல வேறையா? Like, I have continuous call. I cannot manage all these things. It's up to you. Whatever is important for you, you take it up yourself. Okay, bye. Okay. On the other side, there is one more call from the team member. Sollu Ganesh, what happened? Vina, Mr. D, there are 5 people in the team. One person is absconding. One person is not feeling well. There are 2 trainees and one person is stressed out. How do we deliver? The customer is already asking for the penalty. What is the solution? Hey, wait. There is actually network signal issue. Hold on. Okay, I will call you back. Oh my God, so many problems. How many problems we can solve in a day? What can we do? I think we need to take a break. Let's take 2 days leave. Let us sharpen our edge and come back. Now the interval. Our Dtm Prasad calls, Dtm Rajan calls Dtm Prasad. Sir, enna sir, unga தலைவர் எல்லா பக்கமும் அடி வாங்குறாரு. All the set is getting beaten up. என்னதா பண்ண போறாரு? Wait sir, he's going to sharpen his edge. இனிமேல் தான் தெரிக்க விட போறாரு. Okay. Interval is over. Now the movie starts, but the same story repeats. That's the end of the story. The next day, the online reviewer says, what story this is for. It's all like the school by telling you like amateur story. You better give it a miss. TM Modi, what is your review? Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dinagaran. My review was it is like a Netflix movie with all the subtitles and everything. It was like watching a movie only. Thank you for that wonderful way of narrating your story. The next speech, that is project speaker number 2. Dtm Guru Prasad is our second speaker. He started his career as a field technician and have come to the level of India delivery. According to him, leadership can make or break a team, and continuous learning and networking has been his forte, and there is a lot to learn from Dtm Guru Prasad. Before calling Dtm Guru Prasad for his speech, I would like to call his evaluator, Toastmaster Sundaresan, to read out his project objectives.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. Toastmaster Guru Prasad is going to deliver his speech, Dynamic Leadership Level 2, Project 1, Understanding Your Leadership. The purpose is member to identify his primary leadership style or styles. Member to share some aspect of his primary leadership style or discuss leadership styles in general. Thank you. Wish to hear this beautiful speech. Over to Toastmaster of the Day, Saravanan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sundaresan. Please put your hands to welcome Dtm Guru Prasad. Lead and let lead, Dtm Guru Prasad. Dtm Guru Prasad, lead and let lead.
My first ever tryst with the phrase leader was unknowingly when I was selected as a class people leader in my second class. Suddenly teacher announced one day, Guru is going to be your CPL. And the only duty I had was, in the absence of teacher, to watch whoever is talking in the class and write their names in the blackboard. I felt a kind of authority being a leader in the class. So my first understanding of leader is, you are within my palm. Slowly I grew up. Various interpretations of leadership started coming into my thinking. Mostly they are conventional, like how we all do. Our supervisors, our managers, or our CEOs, department head, or in the college, your college's overall people leader, or your NCC, my favorite leaders, all that. So we always thought leader is one single person under whom we all stand and listen to him with bowed heads or folded hands. I think with my understanding of people around me, most of them, till they come across a situation where they find out the redefinition of leadership, they all undergo this same meaning. For us, they are mostly bosses. Dear Toastmaster of the Day, the leader of today's meeting, and fellow Toastmasters, aspiring and practicing leaders, let me just elaborate on how I went into this, my own research on understanding leadership and whatever my inferences. We find three kinds of people that many times we consider them as leaders. Remember, I'm not talking about three kinds of leaders. I'm talking about three kinds of people whom we interpret as leaders. One is your typical, your manager or your boss, on whom you don't have a control. He already exists. You just go and accept him as your leader and you start listening to him and you think he is the leader. Second is a type of people that you go and elect or select as your leaders, starting from your Toastmasters clubs execom to the prime minister or presidents of your respective countries. You go and understand, you think he will be our leader, you elect and select, and you will live with your decisions. Third is suddenly you get inspired by a person, by watching a person, his activities, his attitude, and you accept him or take him up as your leader. These three people keep on coming across your life, but it is your level of maturity and experience that makes you understand what the leader is, how to understand it. For me, I watched a couple of people around me and learned my leadership lessons from many of them. I would like to take two samples here and explain to you whom I watched and I understood the leadership framework from them. One is my past late Sri Kasturi Rangan, my maternal uncle, under whom I was brought up. I lived in his house throughout my educational period. He was a school teacher, mathematics teacher, and retired as the principal of the same school. You know, living in a teacher's house, particularly a mathematical teacher's house, mathematics teacher's house, everything is fixed. Your timetable, the way your time you get up, you prepare yourself, get ready, all that stuff, the way you conduct yourself. But he never imposed, though they all remained in our lives, he never imposed. He made us realize that these are necessary for our style. Because he used to stand as an example. He will never fail getting up at 5:30 every day unless either he's sick or it's a Sunday. That was the only excuse he had. So by watching him, getting himself ready, showing himself before his students, be an example to the student, we watched him. And slowly he groomed up. At the age of single-digit age, he would allow us to go to the shop in the street corner and buy things which are of values less than 1 or 2 rupees. Buy some groceries from Pachamalaga, some Karvaplai for our daily cooking. He will allow us to go take that lead. When we went into double-digit age group, he started sending us to a little higher responsible activities. We used to go to the bank, deposit the amount, go to the post office, go and purchase things of higher value, work with him on shopping, understand how to bargain. Then with the growing age, we used to go and hire auto rickshaws or cycle rickshaws for our home people to travel to the bus stand or station. Slowly, he taught us how to get into the life and be ready. The moment when I was ready to venture into the world, look for my job and go around, everything was business as usual. I never felt new at all. I was able to travel all around to Chennai, get a job. He sent me to Chennai. You don't wait for your campus interview to get over. It may take 6 months being a government company. You have to go to Chennai, prove yourself by getting a job in 5 days. I got a job in 3 days and proved him back. That is a way he exposed us to the world, but let us drive our lives. The second person in my life is one Mr. Neelakantan, who was technically my reporting manager in Chennai Petroleum Corporation. But he's a kind of person who will not look onto a person, he will look into a person. This is my way of defining the grammar. He will motivate you. He will make you own your responsibilities. For example, my job was to just watch a pressure gauge for 1 hour, whether it deviates at all. It's called testing equipment. My job is just to watch that. But he'll tell me the background of why that equipment being tested. What is the impact of production in the company? Particularly that was LPG related equipment. He says the whole nation is waiting for the festive season. If you delay this and fail this, we are going to be suffering the LPG supply, which is going to affect every individual citizen of this country. I go to the plant with the pride saying that I am going to help the citizens of this country. So he groomed us in such a way to take ownership of the tasks we do and take responsibility and deliver. So I listen to them. So my primary identification of leadership style when I went through the questionnaire in Toastmasters was affiliative and altruistic. I'm proud of being affiliative and altruistic because those two people created the leader in me or brought out the leader in me. They never spent their time applying their leadership styles. They made me a leader. So they led and let me also lead. So I applied the same principles before my team members. As a result, a couple of them, I could proudly say, one went out and started his own company. He's leading a few people under his team. The other went abroad, became a very big person in his organization. He's representing the whole nation in that country. They proudly call me back and say that all is because of your teachings, your lessons. With these words, I am proud of being a leader and lead the team over Dtm.
Thank you, Dtm Guru Prasad. I like the messaging in this speech. That is how we can map the task which we do to the impact to the end customer. That is the way we have to look at leadership, of how we have to inspire our team to look at what are the intricate tasks they are doing and how it is related to the strategic objectives of the organization. That is one way of looking and one way of visualization, like what is the task and how it is impacting end customers. Very well done. Thank you. And moving to the next speech, that is project speaker number 3, It is Toastmasters Shruti. Toastmasters Shruti is from Chennai and currently pursuing chemical engineering in SSN College of Engineering. She is our current secretary in Medley. Before calling Toastmaster Shruti for her speech, I would like to call her Evaluator, Toastmaster Kalyan, to read out her project objectives.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear Medlians. Toastmaster Shruti is giving her project speech from Path Dynamic Leadership, Level 2, Project 1, Understand Your Leadership Style. The purpose statement of this project is for the member to identify his or her primary leadership style or styles. It has got two purposes. The second one is the purpose of the speech is for the member to share some aspect of his or her primary leadership role, style, and discuss leadership styles available in general. Toastmaster Shruti will be giving a speech on this. Timer, please note the time is 5 to 7 minutes. Toastmaster Shruti, all the very best. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kalyan. Toastmaster Shruti, family identities, Toastmaster Shruti. Please put your hands to welcome Toastmaster Shruti.
Thank you, Toastmaster Saravanan. Am I audible and visible? Thank you, sir.
Yes, very much.
Thank you, sir. Shruti, what would you like to have for Diwali dinner? Suddenly, a miniature gathering of the South Indian Commission glared straight at me. And I, Shruti, have just been put in the hot chair. I feel the pressure of picking one option over the other. What do I choose? The Tipi Gavalu of Andhra, the Kuri Paniyaram of Chettinad, the Venpongal from my party's hands, or the Mysore Bonda of Mysore, Karnataka. Like the various nations of the European Union, the individual proponents of these culinary varieties are lobbying all their interests to me, a mini Jean-Claude Juncker with a personal preference to the junk food pizza. Now, you may be asking yourselves, why would I be so pensive over a meal choice? See, I have been blessed to be a part of what my mother calls the melting pot of South India. While I was born in Chennai, my uncle hails from Dindigul. I have a Palakkad maternal grandmother, Andhra-based Chittis, North Indian residing cousin, Bangalore-based paternal party. Every year, the same family gathers together in Chennai to celebrate Diwali. While this wonderful kaleidoscope, I would say, of cultures has caused me to be the peacekeeper and the meal decision maker during meal arbitrations, it has fundamentally, impacted my life. Our family's location and multicultural diversity have meant that virtually every person adheres to a different position on the educational and political spectrum. This has naturally triggered a lot of discussions, ranging from the merits of the European education system to America's mass shootings that have often animated our meals. These exact conversations drove me to learn all about what my parents, grandparents, and other relatives were debating with a polite yet concentrate passion. This ongoing discourse on current events not only initiated my interest in engineering, but also prepared me greatly for my time as a class representative and later a project leader on many occasions. In turn, participating in leadership roles has expanded my knowledge regarding matters ranging from various opportunities, examinations, to American, Indian, European engineering growth, while enriching my capabilities to thoughtfully express my views and on those and other issues as well, during prep rounds, exam preparation, and at the dinner table. Just as I have learned to understand and bridge the divides between a rich tapestry of cultures in order to maintain, develop my familial relations, society's leadership must also do the same on a grander scale. This awareness incited a passion for chemistry within me. The very art of balancing chemical reactions, kind of hard, and different perspectives, definitely harder. And therefore, a desire to actively engage in leading, learning, and researching. With my experiences, however few in number, in mind, I felt there was no better place to start in my own class of the Hindu Senior Secondary School and later in SSN College of Engineering. Young juniors, a real high concentration of seniors, middle class students, and a growing population of hostelers helped to comprise a department that I have begun serving in my own little roles of magazine chair and representative. Through my position and a precariously tutoring third-year student, I am committed to lead, discuss, write, and focus on issues that are both wise and respectful of my class and pretty much my department's diversity. Most importantly, my family has taught me an integral life lesson. As our Diwali dinner fights and squabbles suggest, seemingly insurmountable issues and impasses can be resolved simply through respect and dialogue, even producing delicious results. I fundamentally value cultural, political, and theological variety, my own small environment, my department, my own microcosm, if you will, reflecting our global society at large, has inspired me to strive to solve many polite yet significant conflicts in my department today through both my leadership and writing. The problems I would need help to remedy and help other people are numerous and daunting. But our annual Diwali feast will forever remind me again and again that they can be overcome and that humanity's diversity and pretty much my department's diversity is not a weakness, but a very, very definitive strength. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shruti. The common theme I can see from these speeches are like class representative, class people leader. So only thing I remember is we write those people names in the blackboard, whoever talks in Tamil in my school. That is what I fondly remember now. Okay, well done all the speakers, because when we started, it was around 3 minutes late. Now we are on time. And I would like to call the timer to let us know if there are any disqualifications, timing disqualifications in these 3 speeches.
Thank you, Dtm Guru. All these speakers are qualified. There are no disqualifications. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks a lot. And whenever you get the voting sheet, please vote for the best speaker. I can see the best speaker voting sheet coming up. Please vote for the best speaker today. Okay, fine. So now we move on to the next session, that is the business session. So for this, I would like to call upon our President Toastmaster Ranga to take us through this. Thank you all. Thank you. What a lively business session we had. Just to recap, today's session, we have theme of the day as leadership framework and word of the day as gaiety, so that you all remember exactly what is that about.
That's what I said.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Priya. Please mute. Okay, so now we go to the table topic session. Yeah. So as you know, what is a great leadership? Like a great leader must be comfortable with being uncomfortable. So what better session than being uncomfortable, right? This is the table topic session. The table topic session is very helpful when you are unprepared and when the pressure is totally on you. And the way you tap your inner strengths and reserves, that will help you in a long way in your professional as well as in your personal life as well. And if you are married, you will know pretty much about that. But this is a session where you have to be thinking on the feet. And this TT session is played by a Toastmaster who is gifted with an eye for detail. And according to her, before she declares anyone as a leadership material, she makes sure that she watches them very closely and very silently. And because for her, actions matters, but not the position. Please put your hands to welcome Toastmaster Priyadarshini.
Good afternoon to all my fellow Toastmasters. It's time we start our table topic. Without wasting any time, I would like to start my presentation. Please let me know when you're able to sit. Can I just go into this thing? Okay, my first topic. It's gone to the main page.
You're looking at the PPT and not the presentation.
Yes, yes. So my first speaker is Dr. T.K. Sundaraman, sir. The question is for you. Social media has done more damage than good. What's your take on this? D.K. Sundaraman, sir, are you here?
1 minute, I'm coming. Okay. Social media has done more damage than good. Okay. Toastmaster, city master. I do not agree with this topic. Social media has done both good and bad. It is not actually. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. It has done both bad as well as good. Many times it is good. Without social media, how do I order my computer? How do I order my even printer? How do I interact with the whole world? How actually the information has been passed on so quickly? And social media is a must, and how we take it is a thing. Social media can be controlled. If you don't like the phone, throw it away. If you don't like the computer, throw it away and be your own and walk on your own. That is the way. It is actually easily manageable and one of the best things to manage social media. So why should we put all the blames on social media? Social media has done more damage, is not a correct word. Social media has certainly done many good things, especially for the old people. I'm able to converse with you now. I'm able to actually recall all my work which I have done, all the $22 billion projects which I have done. I'm preparing a brochure on all of them. And it is easy by the social media. Social media has everything. Google is our card now. Without Google, actually, we cannot exist even it seems now. Okay, so I think social media is good, and it is actually only for those people who feel it should manage themselves. It is a process of managing. It is actually, I feel guilty with that. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Your words were very clear that technology is what is the need of the hour, and yourself, giving yourself as an example, like, older people making best use of this technology and being very productive at any age, and making it very clear that it is definitely doing more good to all. I'll move on to my next speaker. Thank you for your answer, sir. Om Kumar. Are you here?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. This is your question. Real learning does not occur in the classroom. What is your take on this? Real learning does not occur in the classroom.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Real learning does not occur in the classroom. I 100% agree with this statement, because not everything could be taught in a small room. So whatever we learn mostly in our life comes from the world. For example, in my life, most of the thing I learned through my life experiences. My aspiration and goal setting were not from my school. Only after I read a book called wings of fire of Dr. Abdul Kalam, I started setting goals for my own life. And when we observe some successful people around us, the way they talk, the way they behave, the way they achieve, and the way they motivate, that's how we do and get our learnings. And there are a lot of other things in this world that could be a true inspiration for us. Even a small 4 or 5 years old kid who teaches a lot to be patient and to be compassionate. So, over to you. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you, Om Kumar. Yes, you gave a very personal touch to this question by saying the wings of fire inspiring you. It's not just the school, but the life lessons have been teaching us many things outside the classroom. Thank you so much, and I completely agree with your statement. My next question is for Dtm Thomas. Very interesting question. I'm curious to know the answer. Celebrity you'd like to meet and why? Celebrity you'd like to meet and why?
Simple. Today, the person I want to meet shares the first name with me. That is not the reason I want to meet him. The person I want to meet is Dr. Thomas Friedman. He captured my imagination, my admiration with a book he wrote about how the world has become flat. Imagine the world was first said to be flat. Somebody died for disputing that the world became round. And now here is somebody who comes and says, world is flat. But then I saw, since I was in business, the effect of globalization and how world was truly becoming flat. What was a metaphor became factually true. And then came the failure of globalization because people got into their own cocoons. They had to save their own skin in their own respective nations. They withdrew into a protectionist kind of an era. Today, it's only in love and marriages globalization is happening. If you look at very famous people, their mother is from Japan, father is from Antarctica. If you go back, it's all mixed blood. In other words, globalization is now got reduced in business. Countries are becoming more cocoonist. But I like Thomas Friedman because yesterday I was listening to him at the India Today conclave. So he was asked the same question. He said 5 things. Friends, I'm very happy to share this. I'm not doing an educational session, but I'm sure it will tickle your imagination. He said, today's world is smarter. Today, everything is deeper. Have you noticed? Everything is deep learning, deep everything, deep everything. Third, he said it's a integrated world through technology, not in through integration of mind, but integration through technology. Smart, deep, integrated. Fourth, he said it's speed. It's all about speed. I thought this is true. And if you notice, the connecting line of all this is technology. The very fact that doctor mentioned just now, the very fact he's sitting in California, God knows where, he is able to talk to a large number of people here. So, and therefore he was asked the question, same question Rajdeep asked that I was talking about, whether we are not withdrawing. He said, though withdrawing, he said there are countries that succeed, like Japan, can succeed only through collaboration. China allowed internal collaboration clandestinely. Now they have locked up Jack Ma. Now the crumble will happen because there is no more collaboration. So the message for you Medleyans is collaborate and succeed. All the best to you. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. This was a big learning from your celebrity. It started with Thomas Friedman's book, and then it went on to globalization and also coming down to collaboration. It shows your in-depth knowledge about your celebrity and also your up-to-date information as to what your celebrity has to say. It was very well answered. Thank you for that answer. My next speaker is Lakshmi Ramesh. Are you here? My next question is for Toastmaster Lakshmi Ramesh. Okay, now call Aishwarya, Toastmaster Aishwarya.
Yes, table topic master, I'm here.
Yes, Aishwarya, here comes your question. Why do people hate Monday? Why do People hate Monday. What's your take on this?
Thank you, Table Topic Master, for this wonderful topic. Usually, I hate Mondays because it is working as the first day of working weekdays. Usually, when weekend comes, everybody will be very much happy and they enjoy with their families. But it will fly like the weekend will fly like anything in 10 seconds. Sunday night, we all will have the feeling of, oh my God, tomorrow is Monday. That fear of Monday automatically comes, and the very next day when Monday arrives, again we have to open our laptops or whatever. We have to go to office, and again back to the routine weekdays. We have to do all our works, this, that, again, projects, pensions, ratings, performance, everything. So according to me, I I really hate Monday, since it is after a sudden enjoyment, we will be put into stress or some kind of working environment. And yeah, so for that only people hate Monday, and that's pretty much on this topic. Over to you,
Thank you so much. A very family-oriented person who loves to be with family, and that's suddenly when the reality hits, it's a work pressure again the same next day. That's the reason you meant to say you dislike Mondays. Yes, I understand this. Thank you so much for your answer. Our next speaker is, may I have Dtm Saurajan, sir? Sampath sir, are you here?
Yes, I am very much here.
Yes. Too much money is a bad thing. Am I right? Or what's your take on this?
Thank you for this very interesting but very controversial topic for our time. And I don't think we need the first two words too much. Money is a bad thing is bad enough or good enough as a statement. Because most of our needs are very simple. The basic needs are very simple. We can expand it a little more to some more needs. But once you start expanding beyond the limit, want to have, desire to have, somebody else has got all these type of things, it becomes totally useless. In that type of circle, when we get caught, we stop enjoying the simple things which are the basic things. I know most of the people who are having a lot of money, they cannot enjoy it. I hear of people having hundreds of thousands or thousands of crores of money in this country and that country in our own banks. What does it really mean? It really means nothing. You can put a statement with one followed by so many zeros, but what it is doing is only bad thing, because that creates concern, that creates worry, that creates fear. If somebody is very rich, he is likely to be kidnapped, he is likely to be killed, he is likely to be robbed. Is it a good thing to have too much of it? Certainly not, in my opinion. Yes. So, in fact, my life also has been, to some extent, ordered on this method, because from early childhood till now, I am not attaching too much importance to money. So that has really helped me to have a very free, jolly time, rather than worrying about how to get money, how to multiply it, how to save it, etc., etc. So don't go after money, my dear friends. Back to the TTM.
Thank you so much, sir. Simple life, true life is what was your say on this. Know your limitations and enjoy with whatever we have. A very quality answer to listen from you. Thank you so much for this. My next speaker is Toastmaster Dinesh. Can I have you? Toastmaster Dinesh, are you here?
Yes, Table Topic Master.
Yes. Dinesh, life is better now than it was 50 years ago. What's your take on this? Life is better now than it was 50 years ago.
Thank you, Table Topic Master. Life is better now than it was. Perhaps it should be a topic which should be given to a senior member in our group, because I didn't know how it was 50 years ago. But still, I would go ahead and say that now we have all these superb gadgets and as you see, the cell phone. Today, the cell phone can almost do anything. Like a very minor portion is just being called It can be used as a calculator. It can be used as a watch. As there are so many activities which a phone can do. Even I'm not aware of so many activities. So perhaps life has now become much more complicated. It is much more, and all these devices has made this complicated life, streamlined it, and made it into made it a little bit easy for us. Otherwise, it would have been pretty tough if we are stuck with the old technology in this complicated world today. So, although I haven't lived life, perhaps maybe if I had lived 50 years ago, the environment would have been a lot better. The air which I'm smelling, maybe it would have been far better, not the polluted air which we are smelling, especially in the metro cities. But perhaps I would say that right now life has become much better, and I would live now rather than 50 years ago. Thank you, and over to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much. It was a very clear answer that you prefer to say that life is better now because all-in-one gadget is our cell phone, which has watch, which has camera, and faster the better is what is your answer. Thank you, Dinesh. My next speaker is Raghunath Nair. Can I have you, sir? Our next speaker, Raghunath Nair.
Yes, Priya. Yes, Tos.
Festivities, are they fun or a waste of money? Are they fun or a waste of money? All these festivities, what we do.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster, Table Topic Master. Festivities, it's really fun, and that's somewhere we, as a family, get together. But I have seen places where people in a day burn crackers of more than 1 crore, which is like, which I used to enjoy when I was a kid. But nowadays, I can even stand the noise of it. So it's something how you spend the festivities, which makes it, whether it is fun or waste of money. Waste of money can be taken in 2 ways. One is exact waste of money, where I said that you're burning crackers, like if it is Diwali. I've seen in my apartment where people shell out with which is nothing less than 10 to 15,000 rupees, and that I don't understand how that sound can make you feel better in a festive thing. But apart from that, and the pollution which you create, but apart from that, the festivities, I love it, because that's the time when my family members, and even the kids look forward to, like, so that they can meet their cousins, spend the time, not to study, of course, but it's where that bonding happens.
Yes.
And that is really important for being humane. And that is where I feel particularly connected, for which festivities are necessary, but we should be really cognizant of wasting money, because the amount of money which people, just for the craze of seeing a 1 crore getting burned as crackers, is like totally unacceptable for me. And that, every year, and when you see the kind of people where you feel suffered, it can be very well utilized. That framework of mind is something where I need to really explain to the people. But yeah, there are certain cultures and things like that where they emphasize for it. But I think slowly it will change. But festivity is a good topic. Thank you so much, and very relevant to me. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, your answer seems like festivity is definitely fun because it's a time where we bond, we get close to our family members, and it's definitely a celebration. But only thing we need to take care is not to waste unnecessary money, and also care for nature by avoiding this pollutant crackers or other things. Thank you so much. My final question.
Sorry,
is,
we are out of time.
Last question, or that's it?
We are already out of time.
Oh, okay. There was one big question for the cricket fan. It's okay. I think we had value time now. Thanks for this opportunity. We had lovely speakers. Back to you, Dtm Guru.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Priya, for the lively sessions. And thanks, participants, for providing your insights on all these topics. One of the leadership traits is empathy. So we have to always put ourselves on other shoes so that we can know how other people are feeling. What best that can provide when we go into a next session, that is evaluation session. So that is where leaders will actively seek for feedback and maintain self-awareness about their shortcomings. So let us hear back from our general evaluator, Toastmasters.
Mr. TM, shall we finish the voting for TT? Can you check with the timer?
Yeah, sure. Please. Can we, timer, can you please let us know who are the qualified TT speakers?
The qualified speakers for TT are Dr. T.K. Sundaram, Toastmaster Om Kumar, and Toastmaster Aishwarya, Dtm Sampath sir, and TM Dinesh, and TM Raghunath Nair.
Thank you, timer. So whenever the voting button comes, yeah, you can see now. Please vote for the best performer for table topics. Now I hand it over back to the general evaluator, Toastmaster Surya, to take his proceedings.
Thank you, Toastmaster Saravanan. Now let's start off with the evaluation session. The first evaluator is going to be Toastmaster Dinesh. To introduce about Toastmaster Dinesh, he's a passionate Toastmaster for the past 3 years with Medley. And have you ever been to Sodinganallur Junctions business? Some of you, right? It's a beautiful place with tall buildings, right?
Yeah.
Almost most of the buildings are either owned by him or constructed by him.
Oh my goodness. Don't say that.
So he's a construction, so he's running his own construction business. He's having his office at Sodinganallur. Over to you, Toastmaster Dinesh.
Let us kidnap him now.
Thank you, General Evaluator, for the very big opening. And all he said was completely false. I never gave an introduction like that. And coming to Toastmaster Dinagaran's speech today, Toastmaster Dinagaran delivered a brilliant speech on how he had the various aspects of the team members we are correlating with each other during this time of pandemic, especially when we are all stuck in a laptop before us. He started off beautifully his speech. He asked initially everyone to close their eyes for the next 5 minutes. That really had enough embezzlement in me, because I was wondering what he was going to say, and he had a beautiful story to talk about, just like what his objectives were about. He then opened up with the BGM. I hope everyone that was something which was really new, and something which I think would linger in everyone's mind. We have not seen Toastmaster Dinagaran use his vocal variety so much, but he used it brilliantly today. For example, when he was talking to his boss, he used it in a high pitch, a very authoritative manner. Similarly, when a subordinate was speaking, he used it at low pitch. He used the vocal variety brilliant, and kudos to Toastmaster Dinagaran for being able to use it effectively. And also, another important aspect of his speech was that the way that he used the dialogues throughout the speech. Most speakers would use perhaps like paragraphs. The way he was speaking with his subordinates, with his boss, it was always in dialogues. So there was always something to follow up on. And kudos again to Toastmaster Dinagaran for use. But there are a few recommendations which I would give to you, Dinagaran. The first is, maybe you could have limited your usage of Tamil. That is what perhaps I felt. You could have used 1 or 2 words in Tamil, maybe just one line. You could have restricted your usage of Tamil, but you prolonged it a little bit. That is what I felt. And also perhaps the structure of the speech. The most important recommendation which I would give is that you could have set a template. For example, I Dinagaran am with 5 people. They are my teammates. Perhaps you could have struck a tempo. Starting from the beginning to end, I couldn't find a pure transition. I couldn't find really what you are talking about, to be really honest with you. So you could have set a tempo, and also the conclusion was a little abrupt. So throughout your speech, I really couldn't go with the flow. Perhaps that's how I felt it. The other members and guests may have not felt so. So once again, coming to Toastmaster Dinagaran's speech, there are a lot of positives rather than negatives. And if you could take the recommendations in a good manner, perhaps your next speech would be brilliant. Thank you. And over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much for that constructive feedback, Toastmaster Dinesh. I'm able to see an anticipation in the face of next evaluator. He's thinking, what is he going to speak about me? Let's welcome Toastmaster Sundaresan, a passionate Toastmaster for the past 19 years. And to me, he is a strict person as far as I've seen in this Toastmasters meeting, but I've never met you in person, sir, directly. I would want to see how strict are you in person. Over to you, Toastmaster Sundaresan.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Coming to the evaluation for the speech delivered by Toastmaster Guru Prasad with speech title Lead and Let Lead. First, I'd like to appreciate the speaker for delivering his speech aligned with the purpose to share some aspects of his preliminary leadership style. Certainly, he covered in a nice way. Well, the leadership word itself is such a familiar word and so passionate word for all of us. We have seen all the dimension, and today Guru Prasad gave a new dimension for that word leadership. His beginning, he said, my tryst with word leadership. Good. He narrated his school days and slowly moved to the teenage and mentioned the three kinds of people in general we come across and for leadership. Then he moved to specific his mentors, appreciating them, how much impact they have made in his life. Coming to the speech content, I like the way in which he started the beginning with, because he connected with the audience, because leadership is a favorite topic for all of us. And he mentioned that there are the three ways of the three kinds of people whom we come across is a person like boss, that whom we don't have control. Second is whom we select, like XCOM or club we get into. And the third, whom we look around us. And the way he mentioned the people whom he watched and learned, he appreciated his mentor, the maths teacher who taught him, rather he was the eye-opener in his life to realize for the survival's sake. And the second person, the technical report manager who motivated him and he who made feel great. Toastmaster Guru Prasad, you are lucky to get a boss like that, because most of the boss will not be like that one, who made you feel great, right? Coming to speech delivery, your gestures were apt when you, as a school student, when you became proud as a school leader. Having said that, all these things, I do have some friendly suggestions, friends. Toastmaster Guru Prasad, some more practice would have helped you to get into the flow of words. And flow of words would have taken you to the conclusion also, because your speech conclusion was abrupt. I expected more because of the title, Lead and Let Lead. Still, you covered most of the points. My good wishes to you. Over to General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sundaresan. So the next evaluator is a big shot. There's a reason when I say he's a big shot. He is past president of Medley Toastmasters and past division director, and he's also holding a district level position, I believe so. And he is a product owner of an ERP product and also director of a school and whatnot. Above all, I like his leadership quality. He had done very great job in terms of running our district contests. I've seen him running it by himself. So over to you, Toastmaster Kalyan.
Thank you, General Evaluator, for that kind introduction. Good evening again, fellow Medlians. Here I am to evaluate Toastmaster Shruti's speech. Again, a quick repeat. She gave a speech in Understanding the Leadership Style from Dynamic Leadership. Shruti, the world is for storytellers. Today, who can have a great career is no more tomorrow, no more IT people. The world is for storytellers. You have a great place. I don't know what you are doing with chemical engineering. I don't know what you are going to do with chemical engineering. And because you have a great storytelling ability, make use of it. Tomorrow is for you. If you are a good storyteller, you have a great story. narration, the way in which you dramatize the story. I think suppose if you can make you stand, if it is a in-person meeting, you will jump and then you will order pizza, do everything. Excellent body language, the language, diction, the delivery, everything is fabulous. Keep working on this. It's a great strength you have. What happens in Toastmasters is most of us in our life are in Toastmasters. We keep working on our strengths. We somehow fail to work on our weaknesses. Actually, we keep strengthening our strengths. Here, what we have come here is also to, whenever you prepare a speech, we can just work towards the project objective. Objective is that if you have gone through the document, it is certain things you have got missed or overpassed. It's something like Kamal Hassan's speech. It's very intellectual. At the end of it, I don't understood what you came and what you spoke. I would say only one thing. If you have taken one particular decision, food decision alone of that Diwali, and then went on into the details of what all people spoke and what decision you made, how you helped, and what type of leader you are there, and how you immediately touched upon other things in your college, other things that Ebenezer are in college, what happened. Take one incident, because you have great storytelling ability, you speak a lot there. So take one incident, dwell on that, say the message, align it with your purpose statement, then the speeches will be very, very comfortable. In that case, if you're going to work on an opening body conclusion, it'll form in a very different way. All the very best for your incoming other speeches. Over to the general evaluator.
Thanks again, Toastmaster Kalyan, for your constructive feedback. Now I would like to call upon the timer to read the qualified evaluators and Sergeant at Arms. I mean, the Zoom master to be ready with the voters list.
Okay, all the 3 evaluators are qualified.
And now I request timer Siva to read out all the time, the complete time of all prepared speech, table topics, and evaluation.
So let's start with the prepared speech. Let me share my screen. One minute. Okay, so Toastmaster Dinagaran spoke for 4 minutes 45 seconds, and Dtm Guru Prasad spoke for 7 minutes 26 seconds, and then Shruti finished her speech with 5 minutes 49 seconds. And to start with the evaluation, Toastmaster Dinesh took 2 minutes 46 seconds to complete his speech. Toastmaster Sundareshan took 2 minutes 17 seconds, and Toastmaster Kalyan took 2 minutes 12 seconds. And next, move to the table topics. Toastmaster Dr. T.K. Sundaram took 2 minutes 6 seconds. Toastmaster Om Kumar took 1 minute 1 second. Dtm Thomas took 2 minutes 48 seconds. Toastmaster Aishwarya took 1 minute 8 seconds. Then Toastmaster Dtm Sampath took 2 minutes 6 seconds. Toastmaster Dinesh took 1 minute 23 seconds. And finally, Toastmaster Raghunath Nair took 2 minutes 14 seconds. So to you, gender evaluator.
Thank you so much, timer. Now I would like to call upon Toastmaster Sendil to provide his counter report.
Okay. I'll share my report.
Toastmaster Sendil, are you going to speak something or just the display?
Just I will display the report alone.
Sendil, you are supposed to explain your report. You are supposed to explain your reports.
Yeah, okay. For prepared speech, Dinakaran overused words are one, and used filler words one, repeat words one. So speaker two, he has no overused words, has a filler word words and repeat words two. For speaker three, Shruti Prakash used one overused words and one filler words, no repeated words. For evaluation, Dinesh Shekhar used three overused words and 5+ filler sounds, two repeat words. And evaluated to Sundaresan, he used two repeat words. And then speaker three, evaluator used Kalyan used two filler sounds and two repeat words. For table topics, Toastmasters Sundaram used two overused words, two filler sounds, and two repeat words. Speaker 2 Om Kumar used one overused words, four filler sounds, and one repeat words. Speaker 3 Thomas Abraham used five+ filler sounds, and Speaker 4 Aishwarya used two overused words, and 5+ filler sounds, four repeat words. Speaker 5 Sampath Sauryajan used one repeat words. Speaker 6 Dinesh used two overused words, 5+ filler sounds, and two repeat words. Speaker 7 Dtm Guru used 2+ overused words, four filler sounds, and one repeat word. Over to you, G.
Thank you, Senthil. Now, next, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Raghunath to read out the grammarian's report.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Surya, that you didn't have an introduction kind of a thing, which I was expecting like some kind of a goon or something like that. But overall, yes, thank you so much. Let me share the particular report on the grammarian. Let me reintroduce the word of the day. It is called gaiety. It's a state or quality of being light-hearted or cheerful. Just to and a couple of good usage that I saw, especially in the prepared speeches, is from Guru. There's a word called triest, and triest as a leader. It's the synonyms are appointment or resignation, date or engagement or a window. I think, and one of his leadership style, altruistic, which means showing a disinterested or selfless concern for the well-being of others in an unselfish way. Shruti is the only Shruti I really need to appreciate. She is the only person who used the word gaiety, and that too in a prepared speech. When you use the word of the day, that actually shows the control over language or the confidence that you have as a speaker. I really need to appreciate that, because to remember the word and then use it at an appropriate thing is something which is really need to be appreciated. And some of the good words that I saw is pensive, like which means engaged in or involving. I really like the way the melting pot was used, melting pot of South India, which melting pot is a phrase which means a place where a variety of people or culture or individual assimilates into a cohesiveness, a whole of thing. A very good usage. Impasse, a situation, and there's another word which I found, impasse, a situation in which no progress is possible. So a lot of words, but I found these three words. I'll share this particular in the group, so that a few words that we gain. And that's something which we learn from Toastmasters, and what I have learned from Toastmasters. You come with the kind of advantage which you hear in listening is that you not only learn various ideas or thought points, but we also learn to improve your English and words and vocabulary. The one point where I felt we need to have an improvement is we never say overcome. We say it as overcame. So that's something which when we speak fluently or when we speak publicly, you sometimes like use something which are very common, like colloquial way of using it. It's usually used as overcame. Of course, we smell air also, but we breathe air. So that's something which we need to be cognizant of when we are speaking, and it's something which we need to take it as an improvement. Overall, I really enjoyed the whole meeting. Over to you, G.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Raghunath. And it's time for my report. Today's meeting, it's always better to, it's always
G,
good to,
shall I launch the tag players polling, please?
Yeah, you could.
Thank you. Thank you. We are done.
So it's always good to have a veteran Toastmaster as a Sergeant at Arms. He started the meeting perfectly, and he was saying some information, asking people to rename themselves when I myself was searching how to change the name, and he waited, gave some time, enough time to make those changes, and then introduced the president. That was a great job. Toastmaster of the Day made us to travel through the theme of the day, and he also done a good job in ensuring the completion of both business session and the TT session. That was a great job by TMOD. And I happened to see the flip side of Toastmaster Dinagaran today. A humor came out of Dinagaran. So I enjoyed it really. And Toastmaster Dtm Guru Prasad and Shruti had given their speeches on their own style. Great job by them. And I need to speak about this business session. This gave me a typical Arnab Goswami's news hour program today. This was indeed happened to be a debate session rather than a business session, but often these type of sessions get out without a solution. But we did had a solid solution at the end of this meeting, and no, great job again done by all of us. Kudos to all of us. And TT Master brought some diversified topics, and kudos to TT Master for that too. And I have one recommendation. We could have one recommendation, which is that we could have swapped the TT session and business session, because of having the business session at the beginning, we lost 3 guests who left and did not come back for the meeting. So that's one recommendation. Now my mentor is staring at me. He's actually staring at the camera. It looks like as if he's staring at me. Only I know the language. So definitely I'll call you back, sir. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Surya. General evaluation, very good general evaluation. Thank you for that. Now, the whole session had gone through several leadership tools, strategies, as well as techniques today. So please keep growing, keep practicing, and do self-reflect and track your progress towards becoming a better leader. Now, before the Sergeant of asks us, okay, let us go for the poll for the best role player. Okay, so whenever the voting, it has come now. Please vote for the best performer. And with this, the session for today's meeting is over, and I will hand it over to the President of the day.
Thank you, TMOD. Today was a lesson. We learned a lot of things, and especially how to conduct a business meeting. It was started on time, and then we were able to navigate ourselves. You know, we sort of meandered in between, but the TMOD kept reining us in, saying that we are already 6 minutes over time, and so also DT and Thomas. That was wonderful. So we were able to bring it back in, and of course, the loss of the 3 guests, we could have avoided it. But the only reason why I wanted the business session before the TT session was that we could have more members participate and take part in the meeting. Because as we have noticed earlier, as we push the business session later and later, so many people leave and we are not able to get the quorum also. Also, well done. It was a wonderful session. And I must take some time to acknowledge Siva Radhakrishnan and Senthil Murugan. Both of them were debutants today and they did a fantastic job. A big round of applause to them. Well done. And with that, let me come to the winners of today's meeting. The best act player is Toastmaster Raghunath C. Nair. The best role player is Toastmaster Saravanan. The best TT speaker is Dtm Sampat Saurirajan. Best evaluator is Toastmaster Sundaresan. Best speaker is Dtm Guru Prasad Abdullah. Let's give a collective applause to all of them. So with that, I would like to officially bring the adjourned meeting number 646. So let's